What's going on, guys? JSkeleton here with a brand new video for you guys. Today we got some more Black Ops 3 action, playing domination on the map, Aquarium. I went 46 and 8 using the Razorback SMG and Fire Breaks ability called Purifier. It is the flamethrower, and it just melts guys, man. It crispifies them, if you will. Very good. I love both of these things. And you're going to see some pretty cool gameplay in this video. What we're going to talk about, as you can tell from the title, is what I think, at least, is the best guns and specialists to use through the progression leading from level 1 to 55. All right, so there's a lot of good guns. I'm not going to lie, this is a very, very, very hard video to make, and I got to say it's pretty much self-opinion, it's personal preference, if you will, because Treyarch makes amazing games that are so well balanced. So that's what's making it hard to kind of do this video. I've kind of thought it through, a few times and questioned if I should record it because it's hard to really say. But it might help you guys, and you guys might think my opinion might be worth something. So this is what we're going to talk about, all right? What I think is the best but the best guns and the best specialists to use as you progress. So what I use, I'm going to start with what I use and then throw in some of the guns that you could throw into the mix. Again, I enjoy every single gun. You guys got to keep that in mind. I enjoy every single gun in this game almost, all right? The majority of the guns I actually like. So there's just guns that I tend to stick to the most, and then other guns that I still use, a fair amount, and then some guns where I just, I don't really use a whole lot. So we're going to be talking about, for now, what guns do I use in the progression system. It's not many, to be honest, all right? I play with all different guns. Well, the ones I stick to the most would be out of the gate the KN-44. All right, so I kind of bounce between the Kuda and the KN-44, but I stick more to the KN-44 just because I find it more solid from my personal preference. Anyways, I'm more comfortable with it. I put on grip and quick draw on most of my guns. Grip to reduce the recoil, the kick, and obviously quick draw to snap into your shots a lot quicker. Aim on a guy really fast and things like that. So after the KN-44, I go to the VMP SMG as soon as that's unlocked. I use that the most until I get the Razorback, to be honest. So the VMP is a very, very good gun. I've had a few friends that have really liked it, and some others that they just didn't play well with it. So again, like I said, it's really kind of highly personal preference. I play really good with the VMP, and you definitely want grip on the VMP though, for sure, because the accuracy is not super high. It's actually kind of low. So you definitely want to put some grip on there to kind of up the accuracy a little bit, and if you do that, you're pretty good to go. But to be honest, it's kind of torn between the VMP and the Weevil, because I could play pretty good with either one, and I would suggest trying out every single gun, really, okay? But try out the VMP and the Weevil and kind of choose which one between those two, in my opinion. So I would personally, I go with the VMP, but I could play with the Weevil as well. So there's that. Then once the Razorback's unlocked, that's what I use. So I use those three main guns, and then once in a while I'll throw in the KRM 262, depending on the map. If it's a small map like Combine, excuse me, close quarters, things like that, then I use the KRM 62. And with that gun, I actually use, at the start, I'll use quick draw, and I'll use stock. And then once I unlock the long barrel, I'll switch out stock for long barrel, and that's the way I roll with that gun specifically. So those are the guns I use the most. The other guns that I use still, here and there, or at least a fair amount, would be, let me see here. In SMGs, I would say, like I said, the Weevil was one. The Vesper, I don't use a whole lot. The Pharaoh, I'll use sometimes. It's not as frequent, but it's still pretty good. And it's a 4-round burst. So if you're good with burst weapons, burst guns, then definitely go for that. Because the Pharaoh is pretty solid. For a burst SMG, it's very powerful if you're comfortable with those kind of guns. But I tend to kind of stick away from it, and I stick with it at VMP just because I'm most comfortable with that personally. As far as assault rifles go, again, KN-44 out of the gate. If you're good with, burst rifles, go with the XR2, man. It's a 3-round burst, and if you can connect those bursts, you are going to slay people. It is a very good gun, but again, it's if you're comfortable with it and kind of skilled at using that gun. Now, I've seen a lot of people using the HVK-30. I've tried it, a fair amount, and I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. I don't really like it a whole lot. I think it's kind of so-so. Again, this is personal preference for the most part. But the reason is because the ICR is right after it. And if I had to choose between the two, I'd go with the ICR. And the ICR reminds me a lot of the Scar H. If you guys remember that gun, the Scar, I think it was from both MW2 and MW3, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. But it's a very good gun in my opinion. I prefer it over the HVK. I think it's a really good gun. I see a lot of people using the ICR. Then, of course, you got the Man-O-War. If I had to choose between the ICR and the Man-O-War, I'd still go with the ICR just because I'm not as good at the Man-O-War. There are some people, though, that prefer the Man-O-War, but this is just what I use the most personally as of now. This could change at any time. In a month's time, I could probably prefer a whole different gun, and things like that. So, I mean, obviously, if it changes, I can update you guys, but as of now, I would stick with the ICR after the KN44 and the XR2 personally. So that's just the way I would go as far as assault rifles go. Then of course I got the Shiva. It's a single round burst. Well, it's a single fire gun, I should say, semi-auto. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's still a really good gun. If you like single fire guns, and you can aim really well with them, then I would definitely try out the Shiva. But personally, I don't use it, and excuse me, I'm not a huge fan of it personally. Again, I would stick with the ICR as far as that goes. And the M8A7 you unlock at level 55, so it's just right when you're about the prestige. But it's obviously a very good gun. I reviewed it in the beta, and obviously they tweaked the guns, but it's still a very good gun, and I enjoy it a lot, man. It's really good. So those are the assault rifles I tend to stick to the most. I would say, if I had to pick three, I would go the KN44, ICR, and M8A7. That's like a tongue twister, isn't it? Anyways, shotguns, the KRM-262, like I mentioned, and I don't usually use LMGs and sniper rifles a lot. But just give my opinion on it, I would go with the Dingo, which a lot of people are enjoying. As far as LMGs go, you can move pretty quick with it, and it slaughters, man. Damage is pretty decent, range, fire rate is fairly high, and accuracy. It's a very well-balanced LMG, if you will. So, I would definitely try to use the Dingo as far as LMGs go. And now, snipers, if you want the quick scope and stuff, the Locust seems the way to go. I've used it a fair amount of times. I've either picked it up, off the ground or on my own class. And it's a pretty good gun, man. It's a lot of fun to use. So, as far as snipers go, I prefer the Locust. LMGs, I prefer the Dingo. Shotguns, I prefer the KRM-262. Assault rifles, I'd go KN44, ICR, and M8A7 are my top three. But I would throw the XR2 into the mix as well. SMGs, I'd go VMP, Weevil, and Razorback. But again, I would throw the Pharaoh into the mix as well. There's, like I said, it's really hard. There's a lot of good guns, so it's really hard to kind of say, what is the best, because I've seen people using every single gun and playing very well. Treyarch did an amazing job at making this a well-balanced game, but again, this is just what I use through the ranking systems. So again, I go KN44, VMP, Razorback, KRM-262. Those are my four main guns, but again, I throw in some of the other ones as well. As far as specialists go, let's just cover that really quick, as this video is about to end. So, Fire Break, as soon as you unlock that at level 46, definitely use it. It is the best specialist in my opinion. But I also use the Sparrow as far as Outrider goes, and the Annihilator with Seraph. And I play around with different ones, but again, it's based on game mode and personal preference. But Fire Break is a must when you unlock him. But, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys use. Let me know what you guys think about my opinion and my thoughts of the best guns that you could use, the ones that are up there in the ranks. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys smack the like button, subscribe, the comment, share, and all that awesome stuff. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys next time, and until then, game on. Darkness taking over you.